Hey everyone, welcome to the Wither Effect episode number 3. Today is June 30th, 2019, and I am Duds, or also known as Duds Versus in most social media circles.
And I am Bankaardappel, or Bank for short, and today we're going to talk about some Minecraft. So what have you been working on this week, Duds?
This week, I've been changing a lot of things, so I have moved to a new schedule. Instead of trying to do a weekly YouTube episode, I'm now going to be streaming like 3 to 4 times a week. Well, maybe 2 to 3 times a week, more likely. And I'm going to be doing a YouTube video every 2 weeks.
Okay.
Which is kind of nice because I've been enjoying streaming a lot, and you guys can find me on Mixer for that. But work-wise, it's just basically landscaping around the base. I've got so much of that to do. Everything's kind of going into that right now. How about you?
Well, I didn't really record this week, but I did a bunch of tidying up. I sort of cleaned up rough edges on builds and stuff, and made it look less like a construction site. And yeah, just all kinds of small bits of decoration.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's in the news this week?
All right, Minecraft news 1.14.3 is out, and
Yeah.
guess what?
It doesn't change much, does it?
Yeah, it doesn't change anything. Basically, all the pre-releases we've been going over, it's just finished touches with a few minor bug fixes, so they were more comfortable putting it out. But other than that, 1.14.3, we've talked about it to death in our first 2 episodes, so nothing new on that front.
All right, and then we had the Minecraft 1.14 combat snapshot. Did you have a look at that?
I read a little bit about it, but I didn't play with it or anything like that. I'm kind of on the fence, so
Okay.
yeah, I know we're going to be talking about it a little bit more, but yeah, I say we just wait till we get to the larger section, because we actually have emails today.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we got one really cool email, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and read it to you guys. This is from Decoy, our, what do you want to call it, music wizard of awesomeness.
Yeah, that's good. That covers it.
He's the guy who came up with the intro and the outro for the show. And his email is a rather long one, so bear with me. I'm going to try to read it all, and then we can talk about it. So, his email goes, "Hello, Riplets." Pausing right there. "Hey, Decoy. We're the withered on the Withering Effect." Decoy here. Thank you for another great podcast episode. I really enjoy the loose format. I have some more thoughts on the interesting topic of single player versus multiplayer. Maybe being the only active member on Ripple Effect that actually spends more time in my single player world than on a server. I love both, and it would be hard to choose just one or the other. Oh, okay, so in multiplayer you get to hang out with others, as you say in the show, being inspired by the world around you, changing with awesome builds and cool farms. You can also collaborate, create things that others can use, play small pranks on each other, fun times. Maybe it's a matter of personality, but when I really want to wind down, I log into my single player world. There I have total control over the rules of the game, and there is no rush with anything. As an example, I like the limitations of default vanilla gameplay. I would never, for instance, have a camera account go underground in spectator mode to look for unlit caves. That, for me, would break the immersion of not knowing what is behind the next corner, if you know what I mean. But of course, I don't mind others doing that on a server when that is agreed upon. Another big thing is when you hit escape in single player, the world in the game pauses. Did not know that. When you do the same thing in a server, you just pause yourself, the rest of the world continues as before. You end up missing great recording situations that way, I feel. True point.
Yeah.
I could talk long about this subject, but to keep it relatively short, one last thing to mention is that single player world lasts forever. Multiplayer servers, with a few exceptions, rarely last more than a year. It's the nature of servers. I feel it's fun to start fresh now and then, and the beginning is the time when most people are active at the same time. I love the feeling knowing that I continue creating my world for as long as I want to, but I also think if I hadn't shared my single player experience on YouTube, I would have felt lonely after a while. But looking forward to the next podcast episode, Decoy. Thank you very much for that email, Decoy.
It's a great email, and I like how much in depth he goes on the topic we talked about last time. Mm-hmm. It's really cool, and I thought his point of pausing the game was really cool, because I mean I knew about it because I played single player quite a bit as well, but I often forget that when you play single player you have the option to just pause the game, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, I thought it just kind of continued on like multiplayer servers do. I really haven't played around a single player.
I think it's a setting. I think you can adjust it so it does keep playing. But yeah, why would you really?
Yeah. I mean, he's got a point. You can hit pause, get your recording software up and ready to go, and unpause and hit record.
Yeah. Or, oh, yeah.
Well, I was going to go on to the next thing. He was talking about how single-player worlds last forever. And there are a few servers that do that. But I'm with him. I love the fact that most single-player worlds never restart. Because restarting, to me, is actually the least fun part of a server. Like, a lot of times, I won't get on for the first day or two. Just because I hate that first day grind.
I get that. I don't mind having to do the beginning bits occasionally. I mean, it's part of the game as well, and something I like to do, but you definitely don't want to do it too often, I agree.
Yeah. To me, it's all about the end game. I'm ready to jump in and start building, start doing farms, and getting really comfortable with my Minecraft survival world. Not worried about, oh god, I'm gonna die because I'm still wearing leather armor.
Yeah, or where you're not sure if you can build something because you might not even be able to get the materials yet.
Yeah, I think on Ripple Effect I used concrete the first week. And it's like, I've got to go dig out gravel.
Yeah. Well, and without silk touch, so you get a lot of
flint
from that. Yeah.
I think I was lucky and I enchanted an iron shovel that had silk touch on it. But then I was underwater without breathing abilities because I didn't have the potions or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, jeez. And I think you finally ended up giving me night vision and stuff to let me get underwater longer. And that's how I got concrete.
It could be, yeah. I mean, the potions are fairly easy to make, but it's you got to go to the nether to get the materials, right? Guess finding the fortress is the most thing. It's a long time ago. It's pretty much a year ago now, isn't it?
Well, I think for breathing underwater, it's just a pufferfish, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but you still need
blaze powder.
And
the fuel.
nether.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's been about a year since we've had to start over.
Exactly.
Like, how do you make potions again?
Yeah, brewing isn't something you use much.
Ways. Yeah. Yeah, it's like everyone with their god armor now, no one's using potions.
Yeah, even without the gold armor, like, potions were already not that much around. But now it's definitely going to be a rare thing, I guess.
I still don't have my god armor.
I mean, do you really need it?
Well, that's where I'm at. I'm super into doing all this landscaping and stuff around my base. It's like, do I really want to stop? Because it's going to take a couple hours.
It depends on your luck, I guess. I was quite unlucky. I did make my gold armor, but it took me a while.
I mean, I get the grindstone kind of really helps out with that now, but still.
Well, I thought the grindstone was awesome because I often use... So I went like regular enchanting, right? I went to the enchanting table in the gold farm. And I often use books for like, oh, this is a bad enchant, so I'll use a book to sort of reset the enchant. And then instead of losing the book, I can just grindstone them back to books. So I can sort of keep reusing the same books, and I didn't need stacks upon stacks of books.
Yeah, you really need, like, what, 10?
Yeah, I think I had, like, 11 books, and that was perfectly fine. That was more than enough, which was awesome.
Yeah. But back to Decoy's email. There we go, going off on tangents again. Thank you so much for the email, Decoy. It was a really awesome email.
Yeah, I liked it as well. Hopefully it's the first of many.
Yeah, we love hearing from you guys, even if it's just like the comments on Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts. Comments are very much welcome.
Yeah. Shall we move on to the next point?
I think we should.
Alright, so 1.15 speculation.
Mm-hmm.
So I read a little bit on the Minecraft wiki website. I know it's not the best resource probably, but I think it's usually quite on point. And they basically said like the theme of the update is unknown, and they will announce it at Minecon Live 2019, which is going to be in September.
Yeah, that's kind of how they've been doing the previous one, so that's what I would expect.
They did state it will not focus on caves. I think there were some rumors about that. I'm not sure.
I don't know where those rumors came from, because I never once thought that caves were going to be a focal point.
Well, I mean, apparently it's a big rumor since they specified it.
Yeah.
What they did say is it will add functionality to the smithing tables and fletching tables. Although how they exactly gonna work has to be announced yet, so we're not sure on that. And then I guess combat's gonna be pretty much certain with that already combat pre-release.
Yeah, I mean, going back to the news, obviously combat's getting a change. Now, what kind of change? Not 100% sure, obviously. My thing is, there's a lot of people stuck in 1.8 saying that that's the way combat should be. And I'm going to get a ton of hate for this, but I'm saying, no, if you're stuck in 1.8 combat, you're not really doing combat. I don't care how good someone in 1.8 thinks they are with combat. If you're unable to adjust for 1.9, then you're a spam clicker.
Pretty much.
I'm going to get so much hate for that comment. But, I mean, 1.9 is a lot tougher of a combat system to just learn. I will say that. But you got to know the things. Like, the shield is a really important thing in 1.9 mechanics. And I don't think it gets used enough. I don't use it enough, but I die a lot, and that's what makes funny YouTube videos.
Yeah, so I did look a bit into the combat update. I didn't play around with it, but I watched some videos of people who were playing around in it.
Yeah.
And I was really afraid, because I'm like you, like the 1.9 combat. I think it's great. I like it. I don't really get why people think it's too hard to learn, because to me it's fairly clear, but maybe because I'm already quite familiar with the game, it just seems like it's clear to me.
Well, yeah, I think if you've been playing the game for a while, and especially the PvE side of the game, the 1.9 mechanics make complete total sense.
Yeah, but, I mean, you get a nice like little visual. What is it? The sword that charges, and when it's charged, you get a full attack, and when you jump, you get a crit. I think that's pretty much all the mechanics there are.
Yeah.
Sure, but...
Well, I mean, you can spam click, and it does do minimal damage.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So yeah, that's what they kind of fixed, because I was really afraid of the changes they were going to make, and it was going to be too much 1.80 or 1.8 like. And so what they basically did is you can still spam click, but they just sort of... You can't attack as quick. So you can't attack until that little charge thingy, the little sword icon, is fully charged. But then if you wait a little bit longer and the animation of your hand fully resets, you get like the crit option. So you still need to jump to crit, but you need to charge a little bit longer. But you can just hold your mouse button or controller button, because that's, I think, one of the things they went for. So it's easier for people with a controller. And you can just hold your attack, and you get like good attacks with that. But if you want to like the jump crit or a sweeping edge strike, you need to have that fully charged thing, which is like a fraction of a second longer, and you just see your sword raise a little bit higher. Yeah. And I was like, okay, this is not too bad. Mm-hmm. It's easier to learn, but it still doesn't have the spam click stuff. But people who like to spam click can still normally fight with this. But it pays off to be a bit more knowledgeable about the combat, I guess. So it looks like it's not going to be too bad. But we'll have to see, right? It's still a pre-release thingy.
Yeah. Well, to defend the spam clickers now, because I'm
Mm.
going to jump on the fence and be both sides. I really think they should add new weapons that kind of side with the spam clickiness of the 1.8, and like a weapon like a spear should be in the game. We have tridents, but to me those are mainly throwing weapons.
Mm.
And let's face it, if you're out of water, killing something that's not in water or anything like that, it's a useless weapon. It's absolutely horrible. It has
Yeah,
no
I agree.
damage.
Well, they did add reach to weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna guess. I mean, if they're gonna focus an update on combat, uh, and they're gonna add more weapons, like I think everyone hopes.
Mm-hmm.
I think a very logical way to go for them now, because they already started implementing it, is using reach and weapon speed to sort of
Yeah.
make a different playstyle for people, but still have balanced weapons.
Yeah.
So, like, a spear could have a really long reach, but obviously it's going to be slower than a short sword or something, or sword. I don't know how
Or
elaborate they're
maybe
going to get with their weapons.
you could make a spear faster, just its damage per hit should be a lot less.
Oh, or that, yeah, something like that. I think they have a lot of. I mean, you got sort of 3 stats to play with, right? That's quite a lot of options you can create with that, I would say.
One thing I'd like to see is, so on the PvP side, now this is a dangerous territory for me because I don't do this at all.
Mm.
But if you critical hit someone who's using a shield to block it, like it should either just about break the shield or knock the shield out of the person's hand, like maybe just kind of puts it into their inventory.
They did change something with the shields and being attacked, and there was a way. And I'm not too sure on this anymore, but I think it was if you crit it, or if you did a run jump or a run hit. Because if you run or sprint and you hit someone, you get an extra knockback effect and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
But I think there was a way how you sort of bypass the shield. So it does just beat through the shield, basically.
Okay, yeah, to me that
I think
makes a
that
lot
was
of
with
sense.
a crit. So the shield doesn't fully block an attack anymore, or there's at least a way to bypass it somehow.
Yeah,
So I think that sort of covers your wish.
Yeah, to me, a shield should be extremely useful, but at the same time, it can't block everything. I know it doesn't have a lot of durability, so after a while it will kind of just break.
Mm-hmm.
But you should get rewarded for charging up for a critical hit. For
Well,
sure.
the funny thing is, they kind of have this already, because if you use an X on a shield, it gets disabled for a bit.
Oh, did not know
So-
this.
Yeah, so an X is a great weapon against a shield, but I guess in PvP circles this might be more. This is obviously something that people know, but in PvE side, who uses an X to fight, right? The sword has looting and it has sweeping edge and all those
Yeah.
benefits.
I think the only time I've seen an X preferred use is in the Nether when you're trying to weed out pigmen.
Yeah, for example, but they're great against shields. They're really an anti-shield kind of weapon. Which is funny because I don't think many people realize that if you just play PvE.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I don't
And
PvP at all.
I think even the amount of efficiency you have on your X increases the amount of duration that your shield gets disabled.
Wow.
But I might be wrong on that.
I'm not a PvP person. Heck, I'm barely a PvE person. But I'm excited for this update because I felt combat and armor and weapons and stuff was something that really needed to be touched on. I thought they were getting there with the trident. Then I played with the trident and said, well, unless I'm flying around in the rain or needing a lightning strike, a trident's basically useless. Then they did the crossbow, but it takes so long to charge that crossbow up. It's like it's not better than a bow.
I think they did go quite well on the crossbow. It feels like it's sort of equal to the bow. And it has just a different playstyle, right? So I can see how some people would prefer the bow and some people would prefer the crossbow.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. I haven't used the crossbow that much myself. But the little use I had out of it, I got the feeling like I can see how people would like this. But it feels like it's sort of pretty much the same as a bow. But I didn't do any like full-on tests.
Yeah. I mean, that being said, I've played with one for maybe 30 seconds. And
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't really tell a difference between the crossbow and the bow. If a crossbow, let's say, could go further with less having to arc the crap out of it like you do a regular bow,
Mm-hmm.
then I could see the advantage of the crossbow. But if I have to arc it like I do a normal bow, and even in normal bow, if you put your crosshairs on one spot and then just fire the bow, not moving the crosshairs at all, you will see a little bit of randomization in your bow shot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if a crossbow can get rid of that, I could again see a reason to have a crossbow.
You know what? You saying all this?
Why?
I got a bunch of crossbow enchants when doing my gold armor.
Mm-hmm.
I might go and enchant a crossbow and just use it for a while, see how I like it, and
Yeah.
if I can get an answer to these kinds of questions. And maybe the people already have one. Maybe they have like, we use this. Send
Yeah.
us your comments on it.
Send us proof. We need pictures.
Yeah, what do you like? A crossbow nowadays or not?
I want to see a Robin Hood picture where a guy puts an arrow into the back of another arrow.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not from 1 block away. I'm talking 100 blocks away.
Mm. Oh, that would be awesome.
That would be an awesome shot. Because
Yeah.
I don't think I could hit the same block from 100 blocks away.
Yeah, well, like you said, you get the randomness of the bow to begin with, right?
Yeah.
It's not always going to hit exactly the same spot.
Mm-hmm. My final little thing, because again, this is one of things I want to talk about on our main section,
Mm-hmm.
is I'm gonna go ahead and predict that 115 you will be able to somehow put your elytra on a chest plate.
Let's hope so.
I think Mojang's kind of come to grips with the fact that nobody uses a chest plate now, unless it's early game. So I think they're gonna find a way to maybe you can use an anvil or something and combine those two pieces of armor.
Oh, you actually mean like combine them into one slot?
Yeah, I'm talking. You'll still have to go get an elytra,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you'll still have to put like mending and unbreaking on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe the chest plate has to have an enchantment for the elytra before you can combine them.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. I was just sort of because you've said this a few times to me already, and I always sort of imagined like just having an extra slot in your inventory space where you could just put your elytra, for example.
Yeah, no, I think that would be the easiest solution for sure.
Yeah,
But I think they're gonna make it where it's an enchantment, and you have to enchant your chest piece to accept the elytra, and then you can combine them.
yeah, I like that. I like how you. Yeah, that would be a good feature.
Yeah, that way it's. I mean, because let's face it, a chest plate elytra is overpowered, but you still now have to work for it. You have to go get the elytra. You've got to go put your enchantments on everything, and you have to find that specific enchantment. Just like mending's kind of the enchantment book.
And you could make it even rarer than mending, right? You could make it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe only from certain wandering traders or something.
Mm-hmm.
Those are not something you can control that well, I think. Well, obviously you can. I'm sure people found out how to get a lot of wandering traders around, but
I would love
I
for
think that could be
wandering
interesting.
traders to trade books.
Don't they do that yet? I don't know about all
I
the
have no
traits
clue.
of
Every
a wandering
wandering
trader.
trader I've seen has sold me flowers or sea pickles.
I do like the traits though.
Oh, I'm sorry. One did trade ice, which I got really excited for.
Yeah.
And then it was like 3 pieces of ice before he locked up.
Oh, that's well.
Yeah. It was like 1 ice for 3 emeralds, and I said, awesome. Went and grabbed like 2 stacks of emeralds. I got 3 pieces of ice.
Awesome.
By the way,
yeah.
his llamas do not despawn.
Oh, are they still around?
They are still in my base. For those of
Nice.
you who saw my Friday stream, I captured some wandering trader llamas. And they are still chilling in the base.
Okay. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're kind of already switched to this, but the main topic of today, um, what needs to be added to Minecraft to improve the game? You
Yeah.
sort of already started talking about that with the what is it? You know, the weapons and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, these two topics fit really well together.
Yeah. What other things? Like what would you think would really improve the game?
Yeah. So when I was looking at the show notes, both me and you
Mm.
can agree that we basically were going to say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
both changed our answers so we wouldn't be talking about the same stuff.
Pretty much.
Oh, get some of these coughs out of the way, which hopefully you guys won't hear. So my
Depends
list of
on the editing
items,
work.
I tried
Yeah.
to be a little different. There
Mhm.
are, there's the obvious stairs and slabs, but
Obviously.
I think that's going to be the new norm. I think with every update, we're going to get stairs and slabs of some sort,
Yeah.
whether it's for brand new blocks or not.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mojang's learned their lesson. They know what we want, and we want stairs and slabs. Just saying. I had this written down, then I read about it, and I'm going to be disappointed, but more unique redstone items. I
Mhm.
think redstone needs at least a little bit of an update.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd like
Did you have any? Oh, yeah.
I like the observer block. I know you hate it.
It has its uses, but often it just backfires more than it helps.
I can agree with that. But I want more kind of stuff like that. Maybe a observer block you can put its own delay on.
Hmm.
To me, like how you have the repeater where you can change its delay. I would love an observer block where you can change its delay. So maybe you don't get that twice flash that you often get with redstone signals.
Yeah.
So trying to think if there's any other items, but I think that's kind of what I had in mind.
I was gonna say I agree. I would love to see some, I don't know, changes to Redstone or additions more, I guess, than changes. I couldn't think of something though. It's a hard thing to work on, I guess, because it's obviously sort of well rounded, but it isn't. But because it isn't, it is well rounded again. If that makes sense at all.
Yeah.
Like the glitches and stuff work kind of well together now. It's gonna be hard to adjust or work with that, I guess.
To me, the big thing everyone points to is Mumbo's April Fool's joke from a couple years ago, the blue stone. So you can finally put two pieces of redstone next to each other.
I think that could be a really cool addition.
Yeah. I like the idea of gears. Mechanically moving gears.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool idea.
I'd like to put a gear on top of a piston and another gear going into that gear and physically be able to see turning motions moving that piston up and down. So maybe you can control the speed of a piston opening and closing.
Oh, that could be interesting. It made me think of something else that I know a long time ago I thought of, and was just like, oh, how cool it would be to have like some kind of string so you could make an actual drawbridge or something.
Yeah.
Which would work really well with those gears. Maybe something like rope could be cool.
I'd love to have rope to do drawbridges and all that kinds of stuff. I think
hanging bridges.
Yeah, I think it's stupid that leads don't do that now. I think you should be able to take one end of a lead and put it on a fence post, take the other end, put it on a fence post, and it's done.
Yeah, I can see how it could be sort of a tricky thing to implement as well, though. It wouldn't work like a block would it? And then even the leads are a bit wonky.
Yeah.
I can see how... I don't know. It's hard to... It's hard to say something about, I guess. But I would love to see it.
Well, to me, I think you would just keep the lead the same as it is, but you would change the fence. So you can attach a lead to an animal and a fence if the lead, I guess, sees the animal first. And I know there's a trick you can break the lead and still get it on the fence somehow, but I think it's just changing the fence. to
Mm-hmm.
a classification as an animal, and maybe not so much an entity, that it would
Okay.
go, okay, I'm attached to two
Mm-hmm.
objects that I'm allowed to be attached to. I don't know. I can't code or know the background of how any of this works, but to me, I don't think it would be that hard.
Maybe not. It's. I would love to see it. Anyhow, they should just work towards it.
Really should.
Yeah.
My next thing is better inventory management.
Mm-hmm.
Because my
Again,
inventory is always full.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. I think shulker boxes were a great addition to the game. Probably the most important and, I don't know, most important new block to the game ever since Redstone.
Yeah, that could very well be true.
Mm-hmm. To me, elytras are really important, but they were not important until firework rockets became a thing.
Well, also with Elytra, I sometimes have the idea it could be cool if we didn't have them, because it changes the way you experience builds of people.
Mm-hmm.
With a shulker box, I've never had the idea like, oh, it could be cool if we didn't have those.
Yeah.
It's like they've always been great. Yeah.
Well, and this brings back to more unique redstone items. A shulker box minecart.
Oh, yeah.
You have minecart
cool.
chests, but how cool would it be to, instead of a hopper emptying out what's inside the chest, like a minecart chest would do, it sucks the entire shulker box out. So when it comes back, it's
just in a new one.
Yeah, it's just an empty minecart.
Yeah. Oh, that would be cool. Oh, that would be a cool Redstone edition.
Redstone genius.
Yeah, you deserved it this one. On this one.
Yes. He doesn't say that
It's been
often,
a while.
guys.
Well, it's been a while. You didn't do much. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
All right,
That would be a cool one.
My next thing I think everyone agrees with, more unique lighting options.
Yep. Again, I agree.
I think everyone loves lanterns. I think they are a great thing to the game. I even like inrods now that they're not purple.
Yeah.
But we don't have a lot of full block options still.
It's hard to light up like bigger areas without like spamming torches or something. It's
Yeah, I'm going through that right now with my landscaping.
Yeah, it's hard to light up nice big areas without. Yeah, I mean you could use lanterns now, but that's pretty much just as weird as having torches everywhere.
Yeah, and plus I would love to be able to dye redstone lamps so they put off a different color.
Oh, that would be cool. That would be really cool.
I want shades of color everywhere. To me, Minecraft's too gray.
Well, even if it doesn't change the light color, it could just be cool to have a different color than like the brownish yellow lamps, right? So you could blend them in better into your build or whatever you're making.
I agree with you. I would not hate that, but I feel it would kind of be lost not to be able to have different lighting. I think even with Optifine, you're able to do it somehow.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously they're gonna have to do it, so it does create the color light, but you know, at least give them the option to just change the color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my final, what Minecraft needs to do to improve the game: more mini bosses. We have the Wither, we have the Dragon, but that's it. Maybe Pillagers. I guess you could do.
Oh, like I was gonna say, you got the raids now with the rhino kind of animal. I don't know its name.
The Ravager.
Yeah, that's its. That's the name.
But I think you need more still. I would love to see an overworld dragon.
Yep.
I would love.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd love to be able to tame an overworld dragon so you can ride it. Huh?
That would be even better.
Yes.
I mean, you're linking to a point that I wanted to make.
Well, I'm gonna stop there.
I'd love to have
with that because my big thing is no more stupid zombies. I'm so tired of, hey, we have a new mob and it's just a reskinned zombie. that
Yeah,
doesn't burn in the
yeah.
sun or can now breathe underwater. It throws a trident at you every once in a while. No more zombies.
Well, I agree on it. It would be cool to have more sort of mini bosses. And then, I mean, it could be things like the weather, right? You sort of choose when to get one and
Yeah.
when to fight it. But it would be cool to have a few options like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Sometimes it's just fun to pick a fight.
And my coming up for this was, so I was watching Indiana Jones, right? And I thought,
always fun.
Thought, how cool would it be for you to discover a temple or whatever that had treasure in it, like really good loot, but you get deeper into this temple and then you have to fight a giant spider.
Yeah, I would love that. That would be cool.
Yeah. And instead of your normal swipe, you had to like hit its legs. You had to take out each one of its legs before you could stab it in the face and kill it. Like there was an actual purpose to the fight.
And it's good to have like sort of a few different attacks. So
maybe it spits web at you to get you stuck.
It doesn't have to be extremely elaborate, but just something like a dragon or the weather. It doesn't have to be extreme, but just a few extra of those things could be fun for sure.
And you would only find it in this temple. So if you never wanted to fight that thing, you never had to. You had to go into its temple to attack it.
Yeah, I'd love that. That would be really cool.
But no more zombies.
Yeah, you sort of started to touch on a subject that I wanted to mention for something that I'd love to see. I'd love to see more stuff you can ride on.
Yes.
We got horses and we got donkeys.
Minecarts.
All right, I was mainly pointing at animals, but minecarts, sure, and boats, I guess.
Llamas.
Yeah, but you can't really control them, can you?
No.
You can sit on them, but you can't really ride them. Yeah. And then you have pigs, which are... I mean, you can ride them, but you need the carrot on a stick, which is kind of fun, but it's not something you would ride around a lot. It's more of a gimmicky thing than a nice...
Just for that, I'm doing an entire stream riding on a pig.
I mean, it's going to be funny. I'll laugh at that for sure, but you don't want to go everywhere on a pig on a stick. Unless you're... I mean, some people would just find that unendlessly hilariously, but I would get sick of it after a while.
Yeah.
What I'd love to ride would be a polar bear. Mainly because it's my favorite animal in real life anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, it would be cool to ride a polar bear, wouldn't it? Or the new, the Ravagers you mentioned earlier. They even have a saddle, like, in their skin.
They designed the thing with the saddle, but yet you cannot ride it.
Yeah, it would be awesome to ride it. Dolphins would be cool.
Yeah. Oh, could you imagine, instead of riding on a boat, riding on a dolphin?
Yeah, or maybe even a turtle.
Or turtle.
I can imagine being able to ride on I mean, these are pretty big turtles, right? Compared to a Minecraft person.
Yeah, well, I was just going back to your dolphin. You could hang a fish from a fishing pole like you do a carrot for the pig.
Yeah.
Ride the dolphin that way.
Oh, that would be fun. Yeah, that would be a fun gimmick. I would ride dolphins just for that. Yeah, I think they could do well with doing a few more rideable animals. And of course, being able to craft the saddles.
Yes.
We gotta be able to do that.
Are saddles craftable yet? I can't remember if they are.
I think a lot of people made a data pack for it, so you can craft them, but I don't think they're officially craftable. Still.
I mean, if you AFK fish, you're going to get a chest full in an hour anyways, but there's a lot of people
That's true,
against
but I'm not a fan of AFK fishing, yeah. Not a big fan of it. Alright, another thing I would love to see, we already touched on this as well, but it's just more weapons.
Yes.
I would love to see, I like how they added sort of the axe into the game and the shield. Axe is still, I mean, when I see a weapon, or when I think about a weapon, I'm like, I want to be able to put looting on it and the fire aspect, right? You want the advantages that the sword has. I'm mainly aiming for the looting. If I could put looting on an axe, I wouldn't probably even carry a sword anymore. I would love to see more weapons. A spear, like you mentioned, maybe a long sword and a short sword. Maybe that could be something, or maybe two-handed weapons and one-handed weapons. I mean, it's still Minecraft, so you can't go too far with it, which I understand. But it would be. I mean, there's some room for variety. Maybe some throwing
For sure.
weapons. I mean, you can throw a trident now, maybe something with like little axes that you can throw instead of having a bow, or well, a spear should be throwable as well, I guess, if that ever gets added. Stuff like that. I think they got a lot of room to play with, and it could, at the same time, bring variety to the combat they're trying to do now.
Yeah, to touch on that same subject, I would love more armor abilities. And by that, I mean, I want to be able to take iron, and everyone knows the crafting recipe for iron. It's the 6 iron ingots at the bottom, and then the 2 on the outside at the top. Well, let me take those 2 outside at the top off, switch them out with diamonds, and now I have iron chest plate with diamond shoulders.
Yeah, or leather shoulders. I think that could be a cool look.
I mean,
yeah, I would love to get rid of that sort of diamond color as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a shame that a lot of people put effort into making their skin.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame you kind of have to hide it under the armor, right? It would
Exactly.
be cool to maybe
I don't know how
have an invisible option, or I don't know.
Here, you guys are gonna hear some clicking real quick. We're gonna go. Hang on. You talked about time taken for skins. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16, 18 different skins for my Duds character.
Right. There you go. I mean, you put... I mean, I made my one skin, sort of, which is mainly the face. And I don't really change it. But you go for, like, themes and stuff, right? With Christmas, you do the Christmassy skin, which you kind of had for years anyway.
No, it wasn't a Christmas skin.
And you did that more often. Like, you sort of had...
I've got a Christmas skin.
You had a football skin once? What was the latest one?
Say again?
No, it wasn't football. You had another team skin the other day. I kind of forgot about it. Or the other day. It's a while back already.
Well, I had a Captain America skin for when the last Avengers came out.
Yeah.
And then...
That's the one I was thinking about.
I have another skin I haven't shown yet. And I'm trying to save that for a video, so I'm not going to talk about that.
Oh, okay.
Yet. Yeah, I've got tons of skins. I mean, Halloween, Christmas. I have an Aquaman skin that I was using.
Nice.
Yeah, what else? Every season I change my skin, and some of those are themed to be kind of what my base is going to be that season. So,
yeah, see, it would be cool if you'd be able to show that off a bit more than having to hide it under the... I guess the elytra kind of helps, but, the pants still covers up quite a bit.
Yeah.
The helmet sort of blocks your face. Which I can see how people would like that in seeing me, but I'd love to show my face around.
Yeah, forget my whole elytra being stuck to the chest plate. I now want to be able to enchant myself, so I don't have to wear armor.
I don't know, maybe an invisible armor enchant? I don't know.
See, what I need to do...
It seems cheap, but...
is make God armor helmet and boots, and just wear those.
Yeah, I mean, that would already give you quite a lot of protection, I guess.
Yeah, so I'm going to try that, and we'll see how that goes. That way I don't have to worry about enchanting a ton of armor. I just helmet and boots.
Yeah, oh, that's pretty cool. All right, I'll go back to the topic a bit.
Yeah, stop our rambling.
Another thing I'd love to see in the game is work done on caves, the nether and the end, basically.
Yes.
I mean, they're all sort of empty. The nether, least of all, I guess. It sort of has its things. It has fortress, a few different mobs. They did do a lot of work on the end, mainly doing the cities and the shulkers and that, but I feel they're really empty places. There's nothing really to get, no real reason to be there for a while. It's really inconvenient to nicely build there.
Yes.
Would be nice to sort of lure people more into being in those areas, I guess.
Yeah, I would love to see nether trees and end trees.
Oh, yeah.
That way it could give us different color leaf blocks. To me, this is how you introduce new leaf blocks. And it's a nether tree, which has red leaf blocks, and an end tree, which have purple or magenta leaf blocks.
Oh, that would be an awesome awesome idea. Well, you kind of have the chorus plants, right? I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
But those aren't really trees.
Yeah.
I love the tree idea. That would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some more specific ores. You got quartz, but the ants got nothing really.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe a ore to... I've always wanted, like, obsidian armor. Just so you can get that black armor look. And here I am talking about covering up my skin after I said I'm not doing that anymore, but black armor would look really cool.
I mean, maybe it could be cool to have a few different ores that are at the same level as diamond. Mm-hmm. Like you say, for example, I want to make obsidian armor, and it just has the same armor value as diamond. It just looks different. Yeah. And then, I mean, if you make a few different ones of those, then at least people get the choice to, what kind of armor am I wearing? And you can do one type of pants and the other one chest plate. And now you can kind of do that, but, I mean, leather armor is definitely a lot worse than diamond armor.
For sure.
Which makes it tricky to survive, I guess.
Yeah, but definitely plant-specific to the biome. I mean, we have the chorus fruit plant, which is cool. But that's it. You don't have like that in the nether. And really, I'd like to see, I don't know, different... I mean, we have the wither rose, which you can't find anywhere. You have to get a wither to make it for you. Which, okay, yes, that makes it super rare, but... that would have been perfect for just, like, chilling out in the end.
Yeah, I think a good description would be... They sort of... In 1.13, they made the oceans and stuff go from just empty, blank nothingness to beautiful areas. Yeah. Do the same to those spots. I mean, obviously don't add kelp and stuff into the nether, but, you know... in their own way, just do what you did to the oceans. That would be so cool. Yeah.
Mojang, take your aquatic update and then shove it into the nether and then shove it into the end. And on top of that, we need to update all your other regular biomes. Snap.
I mean, yeah. But the regular biomes are kind of alright, right? It would be fun to have a few more, maybe some adjustments to some, but
well, there's a lot of biomes getting updates, because they've already said they're going to do, like, a biome, update or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which to me is very weird. It's like, why wait? If you have it already, why wait for a big update where just more stuff can get broken? I fully
agree. I think, what was it? They showed that, like, palm trees and stuff, like, quite a while back already, didn't they? And why don't you add it?
I think...
you got it. Just put it in.
Yeah, I'm forgetting the name of the biome, but they have, like, the Balboa trees already made, and... course,
didn't they have a few animals as well?
Well, they had, like, termites. And I went, why would we want termites?
Great. Another reason to not build in wood.
Right.
You already have fire that destroys it all.
Yeah. So most servers just turn fire tick off.
Exactly. And then you're gonna add termites that, is gonna eat your wood? I mean, I'm assuming they do. I don't know if they do, but that's kind of what termites do, don't they?
At this point, I'll be building up in the Arctic, so the little bugs die and they won't eat my wood.
You just don't have the chance. Well, or underwater, I guess.
Yeah, or underwater. But then you got the drowned throwing tridents at your windows all the time.
Yeah. Well, maybe you just have to move into the air.
Well, then you have...
use the sky.
Nah.
Well, that's sort of... I was a nudge towards my last kind of thing that I would love to see in the game.
All right.
Which is I would love to see more stuff in the sky.
Yes.
They added phantoms, sort of... I mean, it seems random to me. I mean, we voted on it as a community, so it was kind of random.
Yes.
I'd love to see more stuff in the sky. They started going into it. Just do some more. That could be...
Yeah.
I've no real suggestions, to be honest. I don't think... Well, maybe cloud cities or something could be cool. You don't want it to be too invasive, obviously. You don't want, like, flying islands and stuff.
Well, I mean, we have parrots.
Maybe just some mobs and birds. They don't really fly, though.
They flutter.
They just sort of sit. Yeah. It's like a chicken falling.
Right. Let the parrot fly.
Which is... Exactly. Or just add eagles, I don't know. Yeah. And give them saddle options so we can ride that. I don't know.
Or some kind of mythical creature that's not even around yet.
Yeah, invent something new, like the shulker.
Overworld Dragon, let me write it.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Well, I mean, I'd love to see more in the sky, so an overworld dragon would sort of work with that, but you wouldn't see it often, right? Or at least you wouldn't want to see it often, I guess.
Yeah, let's say they're about as frequent as a pillager raid. So, it's low chance, but maybe...
Or maybe not as destructive.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe it's not there to destroy stuff, but let's say you leave your livestock with no roof above them, so that the dragon comes down and eats one of your sheep.
Oh, that could be cool.
So it's not hurting really anything. Like, it's not going to destroy your build, but it's going to eat a livestock.
If you don't have a roof.
Yeah, if you put a roof over it.
Basically. So it's easy to sort of counter it. Yeah. Oh, that could be cool.
Or maybe it follows the same kind of light rule that other mobs do. Maybe if your pin's lit up, dragon doesn't eat it. It's scared of the light.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, something like that. Fire, light, all that kind of stuff. It could be cool. I would just love to see some birds flying around as well. Too. Just like the fish in the ocean. Yeah. It would be cool. It's sort of the same thing, right? Just make sure those phantoms aren't so lonely anymore.
Well, and I just thought of like an owl would be really cool at night to hear like hooting.
Oh, yeah.
So an owl for night ambience would be really cool too.
Oh, that would be awesome. Or
fireflies.
Ooh.
Have them be particle effects. So if you don't want fireflies, you could turn your particles down, or maybe they cause a little bit of lag, so you just turn your particles down.
That could be a cool like light source anyway. You just hover some fireflies in places.
Well, imagine taking an empty water bottle and you swipe at a group of fireflies. Now you have a glowing bottle you could put in an item frame, or maybe it'll finally let you put the bottle on a block. So now you have a new, unique light source.
Oh, that would be cool. Oh, that's a great idea.
I'm telling you, man. Mojang, hit me up. I have lots of ideas.
I like that one. That would be cool. I mean, just imagine, like, having... Well, you say in a bottle. I think that would be cool if they just sort of have, like, a little sphere where they would fly around in. They just stick within a block, basically. And then if you have a large field or something, or my swamp would be awesome as well, I could just plop a few of those down, and then when it turns night, you see like a few firefly groups lighting up this.
Or maybe they're attracted to a certain kind of block. So
you could lure them in. Yeah. Oh, that would be even better. Because it's weird if you can really control like fireflies in the open air. Yeah. But that would be that would have some logic to it.
It could be like, I don't know, kind of like Podzol. So you would have another reason to have Podzol. Yeah. Maybe fireflies are attracted to Podzol.
Or maybe a certain type of flower.
Or a certain type of flower. That would be a great idea. Give flowers more uses other than just decoration and dye.
Well, I mean, with the new sort of flowers, they're already starting to do that. The withered rose and the strawberry bushes, and they get some usage.
Right. To feedback in my other idea, end flowers attract fireflies.
How
maybe the end flower could like hypnotize fireflies. So,
all right, because I would think like maybe a nether flower would be more suitable because the nether is kind of the fiery biome, right? So fireflies would match that.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't matter. It would be cool to have a flower that sort of attracts. Yeah. Jeez, we're getting ideas flowing.
I know, man. This is definitely, if you guys share this podcast, I think it's been one of our better ones. So many ideas flowing.
But I'm kind of done with my ideas now, to be honest. I'm through them.
I think it is time to kind of wrap it up. If you want to go ahead.
Yeah. Well, if you like the show, please leave us a rating and comment on the show and review it. It really helps us reach out to get more listeners and stuff. If you'd like to get into contact with the show, email us at podcast@rippleeffectsmp.com or tweet us. We obviously always both have a Twitter, which you can find in the show notes. Also, we now have a Discord channel. So if you want to join that, there should be a link in the show notes as well, where you can join our Discord group, get some more interaction. You have a Q&A section where you can hang out. It's a good and easy way to get in touch with us.
Yeah, guys, this show has been brought to you by Bank and myself, but also let's not forget about our digital producer, Carl, who helps make sure the show ends up where it's supposed to be and not lost out there in the internet. We also have our amazing music you hear in the intro and outro that was created by our friend Decoy. Both their links can be found in the show notes. And like always, guys, thank you for getting withered with us. Bye.
See ya later.